anytime I'm feeling depressed or like I'm not getting fulfillment in life, it's like, oh, I'll just make a song about it.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and that's, I kind of lose that when I think about walking away, or I'm at my 9 to 5 job and I'm sitting there at the office and I'm like, man, I don't know if I can do this forever.
Yeah.
But if I'm making music, I always have that thought in the back of my head, like it just takes one song or one video and that could change my life.
Right.
There's nothing else that can replicate that because that creates like instant optimism and sort of hope towards the future. And I think that's such an important thing. That's why when people are asking, like, what's your passion? What do you do? And a lot of people just do work and they kind of just go through the motions of it. But being an artist, being a creative, it opens so many avenues of positivity for people around you and for yourself, I think.
Yeah.
Like, what's sort of the next step with that? Or are you working with like any big collaborations or people that you're wanting to?
Well, right now it's mostly just like sending out reference tracks. That's like the extent of any big artist that I'm working with right now. Of course, when Midwest is back in town, we'll get some work in. I think he's about to go on tour, so that's probably a ways out.
Yeah.
But yeah, really right now I haven't really been doing a lot of sessions lately.
Right.
I've been doing sessions every now and then. And, just kind of like when somebody hits me up and I feel like it.
Are you working more on like the production side or?
Yeah, just trying to focus on the artistry side of things and songwriting. My production goes hand in hand with that because I like to make most of my own stuff. Not necessarily because I like to, because that's just kind of how my creative process has been from the jump. Is I'll hear like a full song in my head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It might not be like just like a line or a chorus.
That's sort of what I wanted to like ask too, is like, because we both been making, probably 10 years or so making music. How has your creative process sort of changed from how it used to be to how it is now? Because I know, like, for me, I used to have like a sort of a music group of guys that I worked with and kind of bounce ideas off of, and we'd be in the studio all the time just freestyling or listening to beats. And now it's so different because we're older. Most people that we used to work with, like, they became discouraged or whatever it was that kind of brought them away from it. So I feel like we're much more like isolated now, to the point where I have to be listening to music in my car for like hours on end, or trying to just write music for a couple months before I find something I'm interested in.
Dude, I mean, you said something before I even get into what you asked me. That me and you were like some of the only people still doing it.
I swear.
That were doing it
back then. Yeah.
Back then when we started. Like when we came into the game, there was a lot of people that aren't doing it anymore.
Right. And we kind of came in during the SoundCloud era too, where everybody was a rapper or a singer-songwriter,
Totally. Yeah. It was like everybody was. And now to a degree that's still true, but it's way different now. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's like a separation that's occurred between musicians, where there's like a whole, like, underground isn't even status category anymore. It's like a genre.
Yeah, exactly.
And like there's a bunch of people that are still doing that, but then there's now like people that are making music. It's like a totally different thing. Like,
it's like now you don't really have those overnight successes where like back then it felt like, if you dropped a video with Cole Bennett, these random guys would blow up overnight. Like I remember when Juice WRLD dropped those music videos and it felt like he became an overnight sensation. Now it's like you have guys like Benson that are dropping these TikToks and these random social shorts, and that's what blows you up.
Yeah, totally.
I just feel like it's a totally different landscape.
Well, that's exactly how my creative process has changed since I started. When I started making music, I think I heard Juice WRLD for the first time like a week before my first studio session at Azimuth. And I had been in a band before that, as a teenager, but we never were creating anything. We were doing cover songs, you know what I mean? And we weren't even like a real band. We kind of got together in pursuit of performing at certain events.
Right.
I had a blast doing that. And that's how I'd like my creative process to evolve in the future. I'd like to get more people in, not necessarily start a band, but just have the budget to be able to pay way more session musicians.
Right.
And eventually, when touring comes in the picture, I'd love to tour with the full band.
Yeah.
That's like the ultimate pinnacle dream, besides any platinum plaques or Grammys or anything like that, is to be able to go on tour, self-funded, and be able to properly pay out musicians
100%
on your solo stuff.
Right.
But anyways, like,
yeah, I guess like when you first started out and you were working with the band, and I'm sure you were around like-minded people that sort of were making music like you were. Now, are you still finding yourself like in the studio with guys that you engineer with or produce with, and
Yeah,
you find inspiration from that, or where you kind of draw the inspiration from now?
definitely. I mean, honestly, like I'll the process, my creative process hasn't really changed in terms of I'll get an idea that I think is dope just randomly, and I'll want to do my best
Right.
to create it and make the best music I can, and make it to the best of my ability. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That's never changed, but what has changed is the way that I approach stuff. Where like, back then it was like you said, SoundCloud era, and like people were really hungry to discover new artists. So you could have
Right.
somebody be an overnight sensation with a Cole Bennett video, and
Yeah, I
you
guess
know,
now I feel like when I'm making songs, I have
mm-hmm,
this like internal like conscious thought of I have to find a 15-20 second segment I can promote.
100%. I'm
And
already thinking about the
yeah,
content associated with it.
right. And I
Um,
think that's kind of changed my
mhm,
way I approach making songs, and sometimes probably even makes it to where I'm taking a less fully artistic approach. Like I used to make
mhm,
more experimental tracks. It's more risky now in a way
mhm.
because
So much
if
more
it's not
risky.
marketable through social media or TikTok and stuff like that, more times than not, no one's gonna hear it or replay it.
100%. And unfortunately, that's just where we're at. And I would say to any artists, because I'm the same way, like any artists out there that might be listening to this that want to do that and they want to make experimental stuff, unfortunately, like if you want to do music full time and you want to have that be worth it for you to drop
Right.
experimental type songs, play the game. Have a single that is very marketable and that you can get a 15-20 second segment to really post and run into the ground to where people like it and you can get people's attention. And then once you have that attention on you, then you can drop maybe an EP or an
Yeah.
album and
Yeah.
you can sneak that stuff in.
That's probably the
But
smartest way to do it is
yeah,
kind of trick the algorithms, get the
right.
marketable track. If you're
Yeah.
doing an EP, I like doing 4 or 5 song
Hmm.
EPs. Make sure there's a two of them in there that you can just promote constantly. And
Hmm.
then you can do the more experimental artistic ones
Yeah.
that you can kind of fit in the middle of the project,
Hmm.
and because it'll, trickle down effect.
100%. And there's still a market for it, but it's just a matter of people knowing that they're there.
Right, right. I mean,
And
it's
it's
like we
so
saw with
hard.
Crown of Sorrow. Like,
Exactly.
I don't think that was necessarily. I mean, it has marketable
Hmm.
segments and stuff like that, but
Hmm.
I was never promoting it through TikTok, and it's
Right.
gotten so much views, way more than I anticipated we were going to get originally.
Yeah, I mean, the song started, it had a slow start for sure. I was
Yeah.
still obviously honored to be featured
Right,
on
right,
the
right.
the drop,
Sure.
of course. But and it never changed. The numbers never changed my opinion on I thought the song was
Yeah,
dope. But I will say to see where it's gone now,
yeah,
13 months after the drop,
right.
to like have it be only growing
Yeah,
every day and being able to see those numbers reflected on Spotify and other places,
yeah.
it's definitely dope. It's a good feeling.
100%. And I
It's a
think that's
very
sort of how
good
my
feeling.
perspective has changed too over the years. Like when I used to make music, I mean, my first song that hit 1 million plays, it was Serenity.
Mhm.
It took it like 3.5 years for it to get to
Yeah.
that. And people were like, man, did you know it was gonna be a hit track? Like
Mhm.
back then it wasn't even my most played song.
Yeah.
But perspective changes of, oh, well, now it's gotten the validation. It
Mhm.
it has something had to have worked right.
Totally.
But I feel like there's so many songs both of us have to where I think they're just as good, great at tracks. They
Yeah.
just aren't as marketable or have that 10-second segment that people hooked.
Absolutely.
And nowadays it's probably a little bit riskier to make songs like that just
Mhm.
because of financial and time investment. But I think that's sort of how the creative process has changed too.
Yeah.
Is trying to it's just a conscious thought in the back of my head of, is this going to be successful versus
Yeah.
is this like artistically the best thing I've made?
Dude, I think everybody thinks like that makes music. I feel like if you don't say that you think pretty much just like that, you're lying.
Right, right.
I mean, it's always in the back of our mind, especially once you do see success. Like you've seen, you know, way more streams than me so far. Like I just had, you were talking about you had your first song hit 1 million. It took 3.5 years. Like I had my first song to cross 200,000
Hmm.
happened yesterday,
That's
and it
congratulations.
was
Yeah.
thank you. And
I mean, it's all
it's
the same. It's just it's
yeah,
milestones.
100%. It is. You're exactly right. But like even with that, like only being 20% of 1 million, I'm like now like, is this a formula I should follow? And
Right.
it's also like shifted my perspective on
Your artistic approach.
yeah, and like I've shown that song first in label meetings and stuff like
Yeah.
that, where it's like, should this even be the song I'm showing first?
Right.
But I am because it has the most streams.
Yeah. You get the validation of, yeah,
Yeah.
this is a good song.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's tough because like back then I would have thought, oh, 10,000 plays, oh, we made it. 100,000 plays, we
Yeah.
made it. Like none of those things really changed the quality of the music that we make.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we kind of get into this rhythm of trying to chase the next play, and that's sort of taken a toll on how passionate I am about music to some
Mm.
extent. Like how it used to be was much more fun, or you could drop a song on SoundCloud and you didn't have to worry about promoting it on every single day, or putting it over these weird meme reels and stuff like that. But
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just the world that we live in now. I mean, I understand that it's actually much more accessible for people now.
Mm.
Before even SoundCloud, you had to go through labels, you had to go through all these weird, you know, like touring in front of like much larger artists, kind of getting the luck factor. So I understand why it's much more accessible now. It's just it's a different approach than what we kind of came into.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a total different approach. And I just hope that that um, barrier to entry doesn't change. You know what I mean?
Right.
I hope that we don't go back to the labels
Yeah.
gatekeeping because it feels like it's kind of going that way. It feels like, to be honest, uh, the SoundCloud era was one thing, and then the TikTok era came shortly after that. It was
Uh-huh.
like as soon as the sound, bro, I feel like the SoundCloud era almost died when X and Juice World died.
100%.
Like Lil Peep was a huge hit on the
Yeah.
SoundCloud era,
Yeah, I
and
mean that
then
whole wave of like emo rap. I think emo
right,
rap kind of carried that. I mean, they're
yeah,
kind of like the modern day grunge in a way.
100%. Like I even remember, if yeah, it really did carry that wave. But I remember, um, I used to follow. I think I still probably do that Smoke a Sack dude on Twitter,
Uh-huh.
the
Yeah,
Lil
yeah, yeah.
Peep's producer. And when Pete passed away, Juice World kind of blew up a couple months after that. And I actually remember him tweeting like, "Oh, Juice World's the best thing to have happen to music in a while." And
Yeah.
I think they were working and stuff like that. And then Juice passes away a year and some change later, and then we were in this like awkward time
Limbo of where to
period.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, awkward limbo of where to go. Even I felt it, just like somebody who followed the industry and like where things were going and who was moving and where the motion was. I had no like it was very very strange. I felt a very strange feeling.
Right,
I
right.
still can't even really explain to this day. And then it was like boom, pandemic happened
Yeah.
like 3 months later.
Yeah.
And then the TikTok era started to really, that's what gave birth to the TikTok era. Everyone was on their phones. And, at first it started out with obviously like the trends, and
Right,
it had
right.
to be like
You had to be kind of
Addison.
clever and actually
Yeah.
sophisticated to catch people's attention back then.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
And then yeah, it's like hopefully Addison Ray will post my song and then it'll get a bunch and
Right.
now like the dance videos don't really work anymore. Now it's like it's on you, which is so far honestly, this has kind of been as much as I do miss the SoundCloud era because I had a blast. Like I had a song see success on SoundCloud very early, where it was like my third or fourth song I ever dropped. And like it got like 10,000 plays in a week, mostly from my hometown.
Hmm.
Just people that went to my school that I just graduated from, or, people that knew me, or people around here in Indiana. And that was an exhilarating feeling and it was awesome. And I wish that I did capitalize more on that era.
Yeah.
I didn't, I wasn't dropping music at the rate that I would have needed to really see
Right.
success
But you
during that
did
time
you had that
period.
whole year, that era where you was dropping, what was it, once a month or even more than that?
Yeah, I was trying back in like 2021. I was trying the song a week thing.
Yeah.
That I found was really hard. I mean, I liked it and it was exciting because it felt like something new.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I think this could be a total excuse on my end, just because it was hard to keep up with. But I feel like that approach is slightly outdated now,
Yeah.
to where like it worked. Like Russ is the one who really
Right.
popularized that approach,
Yeah.
and I think in
With his style of music, kind of works a little bit more.
100% with his style, he's got yeah. Exactly. And this is no shade to him. It's definitely something that has worked for him and many others. But like with his style of music, plus like the time that he saw success doing that, which was back in 2015, 2016, like it was way different. Now I feel like it's capitalizing on algorithms.
Right.
And I honestly really enjoy that. I really enjoy being able to, because like you said, it's hard to make
Yeah.
music. Like it's really hard sometimes to, you know, get inspired
Yeah.
to drop. And I feel for a lot of artists, especially artists that are in their mid to late 20s
Like
that have been doing it
when
for a
you're
while.
in, yeah, yeah, exactly. And like what you said with inspiration, like when you're in like a creative like writer's block, I mean, do you kind of lean on like trauma or negative things that have happened to you for inspiration, or where do you normally draw? Because obviously we make sad music a
Hmm.
lot of the times,
Yeah.
our lyrics at least. Where do you
Yeah.
kind of like draw the inspiration when you're writing, or at least trying to get back into the rhythm of creating?
Yeah. I guess you're right. It really depends on the emotion that's leading the idea.
Yeah. We don't have
So
many happy songs.
yeah, I
You
really
know?
don't. Now I'm thinking about
Like, my
it.
mom's always pointing out, she's "Make a country love song." I'm like, "I can't, ma."
Yeah, now that I think about it, most of my songs are sad. I
Yeah.
don't know. I think
It's good vibes normally, but the
yeah.
lyrics are normally dark.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think yeah, I do lean on a lot of just past situations sometimes or even present situations. You know, I went through a pretty rough breakup at the end of last year.
Mhm.
And more sad music on the way. Now that's about
Yeah,
that.
right, right.
But like,
Yeah, yeah,
I definitely, I've had a great life and I've had a hard life. And there's songs that aren't as sad that I can lean on the good times that I've had and or like even being hopeful for good times in the
right,
future or
right.
something like that, or even if you just want to make a song about stunting or whatever. But like I'll do that and I'm like, this is cool, but it's not really me. Like I really like the emotion. I like to make music because it's always been the therapy
Yeah,
for me when I was a kid and I was sad for no reason or legitimate reason.
100%.
Like,
That's
y-
why Jim Carrey said this quote, and he said, like, when he was talking about his comedy and why he was motivated to do it,
mhm,
he said, like, he realized that he was there to rid people of concern.
yeah,
And I think that that is like radiated with me in a way that, like, obviously I'm not trying to make funny music or parodies,
right,
but
right.
when people are listening to my songs, I want them to feel like they're not alone in it, or
Mhm.
for that moment of them listening to it, they get a sense of like relief
Mhm.
and they can forget about whatever it is. And I think that's been a
Yeah.
huge motivation for me to make that darker music and lean into those thoughts that normally we're not going to talk about to people per se,
Mhm.
but at least because I've had so many people reach out to me and say, "Man, your music's helped me" and stuff like that, and that's what brings me fulfillment. And I think that after 11 years of making it, that's one of the only drivers that whenever I'm feeling like I want to walk away from it, I lean in on those thoughts and
Yeah, me too. Me too.
right. Like all of a sudden it feels like we're doing something bigger than just music. We're
Mhm.
helping people in a way that you can't really just do from our keyboard.
Yeah, 100%, man. That's always music has helped me out a ton, and it's funny, it's like a lot of the sad music that I listen to, like, it weirdly will make you feel better.
Right,
So I
right,
totally relate, and then when people have told that to me too, it just gives you such a sense of higher purpose.
right.
Um, I think a big problem that I've ran into that I'm still trying to master is living in the present moment
Yeah.
because doing this and like being an artist and like because it's something that there's no blueprint
Hmm.
to success and you're totally on your own until somebody cares about you enough to join your team and help you and help give you
Exactly.
another sense of direction. But even when you do have a full team, there's still no blueprint.
Yeah.
Leor Cohen, the CEO, ex-CEO of Def Jam or whatever, now the head of YouTube Music, he said a broken clock is right twice a day when asked how he breaks an artist.
That's
So like
yeah, that's
it can get
that's deep.
really disorienting and as a result, like the f- the future is like all that you focus on when
Yeah.
you're on the come up and when you're trying to be an entrepreneur, even not just music or art, it's just being an entrepreneur in general,
Right.
like doing something in that field, being your own boss or whatever. Like you get so future oriented and then you realize that you rob yourself of the present moment
Exactly.
and the present moment loses its fulfillment, which when you can
And
realize,
yeah, and I think
yeah,
it's important to sort of like reflect on how far we've even come now.
mhm,
Like sometimes, like, man, maybe I wasn't meant to do this or whatnot.
yeah,
It's like if I was talking to the 17-year-old me, and I see how far we've come and getting all these plays or these music videos and people that have reached out,
mhm,
it's like, man, there's no way I wouldn't be proud
yeah,
of myself back then or think, oh yeah, we made it. When we was 17, 18, trying to make tracks on SoundCloud, getting 100 plays a week, and we thought that was cool. Like people in high school would talk about that.
right,
It's like reflecting on how far we've come and what we've been able to do. I mean, like when you were performing last year and stuff like that, like those videos, you'll
yeah,
look back in 10 years and be like, or when you with your kids and be like, damn, man, that was kind of dope. That
yeah,
like that's that lore,
totally, yeah, 100%. Yeah,
and that kind of helps like give me a perspective of all right, like we have done a lot. Like this stuff is worth our time
yeah, it is.
versus just kind of walking away from it.
Mhm.
You know, have you ever like I know probably during COVID was a hard time for me with it, but have you considered ever walking away from music and how you kind of brought yourself back into being passionate about it again?
Yeah, there was a very strange time in my life uh during COVID. Honestly, even before, because I was super isolated even before. I
Mhm.
remember even making jokes at the time. I was like, "Oh, the pandemic, everybody's social distancing. I'm used to this. I've been out here in my room making beats all by myself." Because like, I had Azimuth and I had a group of friends there.
Right.
Some of them I clicked with very heavy, some of them not really. But I've always been a very social, extroverted person. And when I moved out here, I was under 21, so I couldn't really go into any bars, go out and like mingle with people. I wasn't in college. So most of the people my age were in school, and I was living at home in a state where I was completely alone. And I didn't know like at the time that that was going to be so bad for my mental health. I actually was excited about it
Yeah.
going into it because I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's perfect for music.
Right.
I don't have any social pressure. No
Yeah.
one knows who I am. I'm in a new city to start something that a lot of people will judge you for, and you could perceive at least, whether true or not, that you're being judged for
Yeah.
making music. But yeah, I realized really, really quickly that like my mental health was struggling really, really bad. And I think in 2021, right as we were like slowly but surely coming out of COVID, but still very much in the midst of it. Um, yeah,
You considered quitting at that point?
yeah, I feel like I was like, I don't know. I just had no. I realized that I didn't have um anything to talk about
Right.
because I was
So
not
you
inspired.
needed new inspiration, right?
Yeah, and I was super lazy, and I'd spent this money on a home studio, and now I got this state of the art setup in my room with access to a microphone whenever I want to,
Yeah.
and I'm not creating because I'm uninspired. And that
Yeah.
actually made it 10 times worse than
Yeah.
even just having a studio that I would go to or book a session to know that I could create whenever
Right.
and I was not creating.
I think that's sort of been
Or
my crutch as well. Like I've never had a home studio. And
mhm,
it's because in my head it's like I'm such a perfectionist and I do also procrastinate, but like when I'm in the studio, if I'm booking a session, I'm almost forcing myself. All right, I'm
yeah,
gonna put this 3 hours. I have to make a song in this
mhm,
amount of time. I think it's much more beneficial. But like you were saying, losing inspiration. I think that's also been the times where I've considered walking away the most.
yeah,
When I'm sitting there trying to write or make these new songs, I'm not passionate about them, or I record them and I know that they're not up to what I want to release.
yeah,
Because it's like the golden rule of if I don't want to play it, there's no way I'm going to release it to my followers or my listeners,
mhm,
right? Like
mhm,
I have to be my own biggest fan at the end of the day.
mhm,
And if the song is at a point where I don't think it just reflects like my story or what I'm going through, it just doesn't make sense. And yeah, COVID was a really hard time for it. And then I found the album that was Feel Something. Shout out Movements. That was like the first emo rock style album that I fell in love with, and to this day, it's my favorite album.
mhm. Yeah, they're dope.
And that totally changed our vibe. Like Crown of Sorrow kind of reflects
Mhm,
that style now. I did Place Beyond the Pines with Shannon, and those were kind of the times where I got back into it. But I think also one of the times I wanted to walk away was when I'm coming up on 2 years of sobriety next month.
congratulations.
Thank you. And when I was thinking about it, because I at that point I had been smoking and drinking probably since I was like 16, so
Mhm,
about 10 years, and I really thought that I had wouldn't be able to create music if I wasn't high or
mhm,
or drunk. Like I thought a lot of my inspiration or creativity came from being kind of fucked up.
yeah,
And I was really empowering because when I became sober, I didn't touch music for like 3 months. I feel like I couldn't write. I couldn't like when I was listening to beats, they didn't sound as interesting and all
yeah,
that. And then it slowly came back to me, and I realized that it is an internal thing, you know.
mhm.
Um, and I,
Oh,
and I'm
definitely.
a firm believer like if you can get discouraged doing something, then you probably weren't meant to do it anyways.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like I it's such a huge belief of mine, and I kind of like remind myself of that too. Even if I'm tricking myself and lying, like, all right, well, if I'm making music, well, then maybe I was meant to do it.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And
I mean,
it's that quote from Whiplash. That's what he said,
right,
something along those lines,
right,
where he's like, it doesn't matter what happens to you or what the circumstances are. Like, if you could get discouraged, if you could walk away from it, then it wasn't what you were meant to do.
100%. Yeah, which I think like I totally,
I mean, it's a testament for us. We've been doing it for 10 years now.
yeah,
Like something I couldn't look at my kids in the future, and if I walked away now, and they'd say, "Well, why'd you give it up?"
hmm
I wouldn't have a good enough reason, and
yeah,
I wouldn't be able to look at myself straight in the mirror and say, "Oh yeah, that was why I walked away."
100%, man. I mean, I think, like when you were asking me, like, how did I break out of it? How did I break out? I almost, because yeah, it got very hard there for a second when I didn't feel like the pen was working or I felt
Right.
uninspired. And how I kept going was I was just like, I refuse. And
Right.
I knew because I'm like, there's no way that uh I'm not meant to do this because I can't imagine myself doing anything else. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep showing up, and eventually creativity and myself will be aligned.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. And then, life happens, you live your life, and things and events happen that inspire you, and you get more inspired.
100%.
Um, and for better or for worse, you can always, if it's a fucked up situation, you can change it into a good situation, or
Yeah.
at least get some good songs out of
Yeah.
it. And if it's a good situation, it helps you to feel creative. Even the good times can help you make sad music.
Right.
You
I
know
think
what I mean? Like
that's like a
just being
huge
creative.
that's like a huge superpower for us is like anytime I'm feeling depressed or like I'm not getting fulfillment in life, it's like, oh, I'll just make a song about it.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and that's, I kind of lose that when I think about walking away or
Mhm.
when I'm at my 9 to 5 job and I'm sitting there at the office and I'm like, man, I don't know if I could do this forever.
Yeah.
But if I'm making music, I always have that thought in the back of my head, like it just takes one song or one video, and that could change my life.
Right.
Like there's nothing else that can replicate that. That because that creates like instant optimism and sort of hope towards the future, and I think that's such an important thing. That's why when people are asking like, what's your passion? What do you do? And a lot of people just do work and they kind of just go through the motions of it.
Mhm.
But being an artist, being a creative, it opens so many avenues of
Yeah.
positivity for people around you and for yourself. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think you and I are both at the point that, it's just going to take that one.
Right.
We've done the work and laid the foundation to be discovered and have success because we know who we are, and and we have a brand, a clearly identifiable brand with us and the music that's in sync, that like it's just going to take that one.
Yeah.
So when you're at that point, and even before you're at that point, but especially, when you're at that point, you just can't give up.
Yeah.
You can't give up. And it's actually like, it's not good. I believe that God gives us the vision, and the desires of our heart are aligned with what God wants for us. It might not be, they could stray in certain
100%.
areas, but I think that like, there's a reason that I want to do music. There's a reason that you want to do music.
Yeah.
And no matter why, no matter where you go with it, whether or not that was in God's will or whatever, it's still for you to do music.
Right.
And
Yeah, I've even almost feels like sometimes when I've tried or thought about walking away from it or kind of gravitate away, he kind of
mhm,
nudges me back in the direction or
yeah,
something will happen and I'm like,
yeah,
all right, maybe I should go make that project or
yeah,
that
yeah,
that video or like a beat will fall into my lap that I'm just
hmm,
instantly click with and yeah,
yep,
I think there are signs along the way. I don't think you
yeah,
get 10 years or plus into this career with by luck.
100%.
There's so much resilience and determination and also just and higher power, whatever it is. I think we were, came here to make music and be creative and
Hmm.
sort of walk that path.
Yeah, 100%. That's very true. And yeah, I don't know. I feel you on that. It's like I almost feel like I have been nudged many times to
Yeah.
keep going. Where
Sometimes in
like,
the night, like something bad will happen. I'm like, oh shit, maybe shouldn't focus on this. Let me go back to making music. Like, okay, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I've literally had times where I'm like, all right, screw this. Like I'm gonna go get a job. Like
Yeah.
I'm done.
Then you're
And
reminded
then
pretty
you
quick.
get it. Yeah, it just, you can't explain it. Just supernaturally, there's like things that,
Yeah.
there's this opportunity comes up, or
Right.
this comes up, or that comes up, and like, you know, um,
Yeah, and
it's wild.
you can't really replace the feel like when you're at a 9 to 5 and I mean, obviously I have full respect for anybody that does that. I do that. But, to have something externally outside of that, like that will be here long after we're gone. I think that's such an important thing to have in your life
Yeah.
because
Mm.
like it's not necessarily creating a legacy, whatever you want to call it, like your footprint and the impressions that we make with other people. I mean, it's so hard to replicate that in
Yeah.
everyday life if you don't have something like that.
Oh yeah, 100%. I definitely want to say this too. I'm not shitting on any 9 to 5s. I think if you have a job,
Yeah.
you are way ahead of so many people.
Right,
There's
right.
so many people, especially the kids these days, they do not want to work. And if you want to be, honestly, the thing that's held me back the most has been times where I've not had the money to do the promotion
Yeah.
campaigns and the rollouts that I've wanted to do for songs. So like I've been lucky enough to have a career in audio engineering that I can help to fund myself, and it's in music. But like I could be probably even way more successful now if I had had a
Yeah,
job
right,
the whole
right.
time where I had more money coming in to put behind the music
Yeah,
and to really do things at a larger scale.
yeah.
And yeah, if you're an upcoming artist and you want to make it, you need a job. Like
Yeah,
you need a
yeah.
lot of money. I think Young Dolph said it takes like
That's
100
super.
grand to break a record.
Yeah.
So if it takes 100 grand to break a record, now he's obviously talking about Billboard hits, but like,
No, for sure. I mean, I work corporate job. I think what the best thing it does for me is create perspective because I work
yeah,
with people that are sort of like sleepwalking
mm,
through life in a way that is, you ask them what kind of gets them up in the morning, what motivates them, and most of it is just them going through the motions. And I just don't want to become that in a way. And that's also like when I'm making music, it kind of lets me know, all right, well, I'm at least doing something of importance, and
yeah,
it makes me just feel like, all right, because when I get depressed, I've had battles with suicide and all of those things, and it has always been an outlet for me. And if I walk away from it, it always has been just this really sad thought of like ending a relationship or the end of an era or whatever you want to
mhm,
call it. So I think it creates a lot more positivity, even if it's negative, like emotions and stuff we write about and sort of pondering for inspiration. It has created such a amazing aspect of life. I think that's hard to
yeah,
find anywhere else.
yeah, yeah. Definitely just a creative outlet and doing something that is creating a legacy, and for all that we know,
Yeah,
will be here after we're gone. You know what I mean? Like it just gives life way more of a that je ne sais quoi. You know what I'm saying? That
yeah,
that
for
that
sure.
that fulfillment, and it just makes it way more interesting.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I don't know. Unless an EMP comes and wipes out the grid, like the music
for
will be
sure,
here
for
after we're
sure.
gone. You know what I mean? Maybe maybe I should burn some CDs or put it on some 3-inch tape so we can.
100%. So are you
But
working on like a new project right now, or are you collaborating with anybody? I know you said you want to focus mostly on singing songwriting currently.
yeah, so I'm working on um an album right now. The album's called Feed Your Ego, and the album is basically about it's the name is very interesting because it's like me um completely surrendering to a woman, essentially. Is
Hmm.
what the album's about. And it's like
What's the genre?
it's gonna be like a little bit of alt pop, like the usual stuff I
Hmm.
do, a little bit of rock, and then there's actually a lot of hip hop and R&B on there. It's a blend that I'm trying right now to take songs that are like way different than each other and then put them into a playlist that's gonna work. Um,
What was sort of the
but
inspirations that you like? Were there artists or like projects that
yeah,
you?
yeah, shit. I mean, the inspirations have been just like stuff that I've heard that I really like as of recently, and then
Mhm.
just my previous music. It's the inspiration honestly has been my last album, and what's a cool evolution of that I can do with a refreshed perspective. Because my last album was kind of about going through the motions.
Mhm.
This album, it's a breakup album, and it's just about completely surrendering that you've been dumped. And it's like, yeah, this does suck. I don't care about my pride. Fuck that. That makes me feel worse. That I even have to pretend that I'm okay. I'm not okay. So,
Right.
you know, you can listen to this and feed your ego because you win.
Yeah.
And I think that it's just a moment of vulnerability. So that's gonna be the next album.
How
Um,
many songs are gonna be on it?
I think 17.
Oh, so it's gonna be like almost a
It's
double
gonna
sided
be
feature.
yeah, it's gonna be like a full length LP for sure. Most of the
Wow.
first two projects I have are both 12 songs each.
Are you thinking about?
So
Are you
this
trying to get it released this year?
Yeah, yeah.
Is
So
it
I got singles lined up. I was gonna drop a single this month. Like we were talking about, it's so important to
right?
have the proper
Kind of
money
the
behind
build
a
up and
release
stuff.
that
Yeah.
I pushed it back because one, that's Idle Glance only had the
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
certain date, which by the way, shout out to you for putting me onto
Yeah.
them.
Shout out Idol.
They've been super instrumental in helping me, feed the algorithm and gaining exposure, and I really appreciate you
Oh yeah. I
for
mean, they're like the new. I
yeah.
mean, they're underground like
Well, I
exposure
appreciate you for
is.
putting me onto
Oh,
that
of
because
course. Of
people
course.
think that success is so finite and that
Yeah.
they need to get all the success they
But
can,
I
but
mean, it
really
really
we
can
can
be a
all.
process. Yeah, like if you work with certain people and you go through certain, steps, like you really can, as long as you are passionate about it. I mean, anyone can really become successful. I think.
It just speaks to yeah, I mean, it just speaks to you internalize. That's a testimony that you I can testify that you truly embody that. Is what I'm trying to say because that was a
I
huge
appreciate it.
platform that I had no clue about, and I consider myself to be pretty hip about different ways to promote music and stuff. I didn't know about them, and they actually have a thriving, active
Yeah,
audience.
yeah,
And if the music's good and they like it, they'll
yeah.
feature your stuff, which like you've seen success with them, and
Yeah, I mean, they
you've
changed my life.
yeah
mean, they're part of the reason Serenity got to 1,000,000.
yeah
So it's like paying it forward, and I think they're really for like the art as well.
hundred
They're not
percent.
just this like strange co-signer that's just gonna you pay for views and stuff like that. Like no, they're gonna make a beautiful AMV for it.
You can tell they're for the art,
Yeah,
and you can tell that they're uh,
and their audience
viewer.
trusts him.
Yeah,
When
they
when a
trust
song
him.
comes out, they already have this impression. All right, this has to be a good song because
Yeah.
Idol wouldn't release it otherwise.
Yeah, yeah, they trust him. They hold him accountable to a
Yeah,
certain standard, I can tell as well. And I think that they're one of the best uh services, right? I don't know another one that's even doing that. You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
Like that they're a gem that you put me onto, and now they're helping me out and helping change my life. And
Yeah, the first one you got on
yeah,
there was what Miserable,
it was.
and
Yeah.
that yeah, that's such
And
an
now
awesome
yeah.
video. Yeah,
And now that's the one that like a year and a half later or whatever after being featured, it's just got 200K yesterday.
yeah,
So
that's
yeah, man,
amazing.
it's there's everybody can be successful, and success is abundant, and wealth is abundant, and blessings are abundant. But for whatever reason, people just have the mindset of like, oh, nobody helped
It's like
me
it's
out, so I'm not
locked,
going to
right?
help anybody else out,
Yeah,
or that it's right, that it's locked, or that,
gatekeeping people. Yeah,
yeah. And that's just such BS. And, I don't know. Like, there's definitely something to understanding that success is abundant and
yeah,
that you can share it with other people. I truly feel like um, you get rewarded in life for that, like
hundred
karmically,
percent.
for lack of a better word.
Yeah,
I don't even know if I don't know if I really believe in karma anymore, but I definitely believe in something with
yeah, and
that
I
vibration
believe in
being
like the
powerful.
law of attraction in the way of
Yeah, me
like
too.
if you
Yeah,
move towards something, it will move towards you.
right. That's what
And
I believe in. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah. For
I
sure.
approach that with music as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I'm feeling like I don't know where to go or what direction to move, it's like if I just start making songs or start making music, something eventually is gonna come out of it that's positive.
Yeah,
And you may make 10 songs, but one of them is gonna be the one that you were looking for.
yeah.
But if you just sit there and be like, maybe I none of these are clicking with me, and you don't really put in the energy to it, it's
Mm-hmm.
never gonna like kind of manifest and come to fruition.
Right. Yeah, I've seen the law of attraction play out
Yeah,
like
with
heavily.
every
Yeah,
aspect of life.
every
I mean,
aspect of life for
relationships,
sure.
everything.
Mm-hmm.
I 100% believe that.
I just have noticed it. I didn't even really know what it was until I started making music because that's when I was like,
Right.
you're so desperate to get success that of course, I was like super trying to heavily like figure out how to like manifest and blah blah blah. But like um and I do believe in manifestation,
Yeah.
but I've just it's there's stuff that you can't make up where like I don't know how it happened. Like all the like stuff that's happened that's brought me to the next level
Right.
and the events in my life and the people I've met and my network, like
On the outside,
it
you can
all
almost think
happened.
it's luck, but you know
Yeah.
it's not. It's not coincidence.
Nah, it all happened from just deciding to make music
Right.
and putting myself in studio environments.
Yeah.
And then everything else pans out to keep me on this path. So there's, you can't make that up other than just like you said, it just speaks to the law of attraction. Like if you go after something, you set your mind on it,
Right.
that thing will go after you, which in my case it was music, and setting my mind on making music, and then a career is now unfolding in front of me. And the same thing with you. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I like asking artists too. Like, if you had the dream case scenario of what your life would be as an artist, like, are you wanting to? Would it be like touring all the time, or
Mm.
kind of working the back scenes of having sync licensing your music in like music video or like movies and stuff like that, or would you just want to be more like the production, sound engineering side, collecting royalties type thing?
Well, like I said, when I was in a band in high school and we were performing, that's when I really fell in love with concerts, doing shows. And that's like my ultimate goal is to be able to tour. So just like to live off of my streams and to be able to go on tour and travel the world to perform, and there's people there even if it's just 200 cap, 300 cap venues, but you can go places and it's worth it for you to go there and you know, you can support yourself by touring and streaming money. Like
Mhm.
that's the dream. It doesn't necessarily have to be such a grand scale. Like I think Drake said at his Grammy acceptance, and they cut his mic off, where
Yeah.
he was like, if you have people showing up to your shows
Yeah.
and you're making music, like you've already won. You don't need this.
Right.
And I, you know, of course, a Grammy would be awesome. Platinum plaques would be awesome. But it's like you said earlier, you kind of touched on this. Like when I was like, you know, you got your first mill. I just got my first 200K. So I can't even imagine how much, you know, a mill would shape what I think about a song falsely or correctly or whatever. Anyways, the goalpost is always moving. You know
Always.
what I
Yeah.
mean? So like, you know, like when Sons of Icarus hits 10 mil,
Right.
that's you're
It's
gonna be
like,
like, I
yeah,
want
is that the
20.
end? No, it's not
Yeah.
the end. It's just the next step.
Because my song just hit 200K. I want 300K now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, so I think it gets to a point where, you know, once you really can, there's no denying that there's an energy
Yeah.
to bigger shows, like performing for a couple hundred people versus performing to a sold out, you know, 2,000 cap theater or whatever. The
Right.
energy is way different. It's way more fire. It's way awesome. And like, you know, I think that,
Yeah, it's hard to like kind of sit on like an end goal.
yeah,
And it's sort of that
you get to the point where it doesn't matter
yeah,
anymore. You
and
know
I
what I
think it
mean?
is that sort of belief where like art is never going to be finished. It will just be abandoned.
Hmm.
Like you have guys like Post Malone or Morgan Wallen, and you know they make hits after hits, and they have billions of plays. I mean Drake, like yeah, he could have walked away from it 10 years ago and it would have been fine, but he's probably the art can always improve. You can always get more people to listen to it. Someone else will find you. So I, like the end goal, it's the endless cycle. Like even if it's a toxic like
Yeah.
relationship with music or art, or whoever artists, they'll never be fully satiated because
Yeah.
there's always something else to create.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm just trying to be satisfied and not rob myself of my happiness.
Right, right.
You know, I just want sorry. I just
No,
want
good,
I
all
just
good.
want peace of mind, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? And I want to have fun creating and I want to make the best music possible.
yeah,
But I at the same time I can't deny myself of the
right,
goals and the inspirations that I have.
yeah.
Um
And the milestones that
and the
you've
milestone.
already hit, right?
Yeah, and the milestones I've already hit, you know what I mean? Like that's proof right there that it can
Yeah,
be done bigger. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like I got 100,000 streams or I got a million streams total or whatever, so I can get 10 million streams total. And okay, I just sold out a show of 100 people, so I can sell out a show with 1,000 people.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like you, this is like kind
Yeah, I
of
mean, I, th-
cliche,
I
but
I think I think on a grand scale, like if you can get 100 people to come to your show, hypothetically 1,000,
hmm,
a million, or
yeah,
100,000, they'll all eventually sort of feel the same. If I could
yeah,
imagine, like
for sure. I can't imagine that. Like I've actually heard some artists say that they miss when they were doing underground shows of just a couple hundred people
yeah,
because like the
it's so
energy's
personal.
crazy,
Yeah,
and then like now they're on a stadium tour and they're like, you know, I just see a sea of cell phone flashlights, and that's it. And it's like, yeah, it
yeah,
looks aesthetically pleasing on camera and it's impressive for people online to see, oh, you packed out a stadium or whatever. But like, was it as fun as doing the Hoosier Dome with 500 people in it?
yeah, yeah. And
You know what I
everyone's
mean?
right there in front
Yeah,
of you.
everyone's right there moshing and or having a good
Yeah,
time, or just like, I don't know. There's something to be said that the energy of a show is insane, and like um a huge turning point for me as well back in 2021 when I was like at a very low point in life was I did a show up in Lafayette, Indiana at the Tippecanoe Arts Federation Center.
hmm
So shout out to Shipe and at Matt and everybody that put that show on. But there was uh so like show was pretty popping at one point. There was like 70 people there. But because I was had, you know, the most streams or whatever at the time of the lineup, they put me on
as a
as the
headliner.
headliner.
Yeah,
So, but like by that point it was hella late, so there was only like 10 or 15 people there to see me. But those 10 to 15 people and like maybe the 5 people that came up from Indianapolis to come see
yeah,
me, it had me riding on a high for months after that.
yeah. The energy is probably
Yeah,
unmatched.
the energy was insane. And then I did another show later that year for my friends that had a band and they still make music, but they had a band at the time that was we were finishing up a EP and we did an EP release party
Yeah,
and we did it in the Round Table parking lot and there was probably like 350 people that came and that was, you know, that's one of my most memorable shows to date and one of my most sentimental shows because that was something that they could have performed. They didn't have to give me that opportunity, but they gave it to me. And it was just, again, coming out of that low point and uninspired point to where it's like, okay, I can really do this.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah, being able to just see how far you've come. I mean,
Hmm.
350 people has just got to be absolutely.
Oh, yeah, it was insane. And we
You
were in
get
like a
that.
tent in the parking
It's like a
lot.
drug. It
Yeah,
really is.
it
Like
is.
the dopamine is insane when you're up there. I mean, it's like an out of body experience.
Yeah, I'd never felt a crazier feeling in my entire life. Um, up until the first show that I did,
Right.
where we got off stage and it was a school talent show and we all ran and screamed and I couldn't. It was like real. It was like out of a movie. I was like freaking out, like whoa. And I had my guitar in my hand. I almost dropped my expensive ass guitar. I just remember to chill out. And
Yeah, that's the stuff that stays with
yeah, I
you.
was hooked. I
Yeah,
was definitely hooked for life after that. I was like, man, I'll never
yeah.
not
I mean,
want
I
to
remember
perform and do
when
this.
we first started, I had my four buddies. Shout out Goon Squad. And we were so terrified to perform. I mean, all of us sort of had like stage anxiety, and none of us were good at public speaking. We're like, all right, well, let's just try an open mic. So we went to Be Here Now in Muncie, and
Oh,
we did
yeah.
open mics every Thursday for like a half a year. Like we must have done 30 or 40 of them. And at first they started, it was just, the random bar people that would like lean over and be like, who the hell is that? Like we
Hmm.
were doing our trash freaking hip hop songs or whatnot.
Hmm.
But by the end of it, we were getting 40, 50 people packed into this little bar and they didn't know what was going on. They were just like,
Yeah.
why the hell is everyone coming over here?
Yeah.
And I remember the first time I performed, I literally had to do the entire performance with my eyes closed because I just couldn't like
Hey, man, it is what it
I
is.
couldn't. I mean, I don't know if I was nervous, but the energy was like too much for me to sort of process at the time. But by
Yeah.
the end, I was fully ready to do a show, and we ended up doing a
Yeah.
show there in the basement of that place, and there's probably 60, 70 people in there, and we
That's crazy to be here now. I performed at Be Here Now back in
yeah,
January, and there was probably like my dog who's was throwing the show. He probably had like 50 people at his set, but I probably had like 15, and even that was crazy because
yeah,
it's so small.
it feels so personal, yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine what 70 people was like.
Yeah, it was absurd. I remember the guys at the bar were like, "Who the hell are these people coming in here?" Like, we never been this busy at the time. And I just remember when we did a show for like with like 200 people, I was part of a headliner. It was like 15 artists. It was all local indie artists. It didn't feel the same because it wasn't everyone showing up for us, right?
Right,
And
right.
and I think there, we could have gone two different directions. We could have probably opened up for touring artists and sort of gone that route and probably gained exposure from it. But
Hmm.
we sort of went the personal, like we hosted all of our own events for the most part, and those are the most memorable times. And I'm glad for the videos that we got and all that, because when we think about it, and I still talk to people that went to those shows, it was like an experience I can't see myself doing now. It
Hmm.
was like, man, we was in a totally different spot in our life that I sometimes I wonder, I'm like, man, like I can't believe I was able to get myself to do that
Yeah,
because you really do have to get into a certain mindset of, all right, I'm confident enough to get in front of these people and put on a fucking show,
yeah, yeah.
you know?
And your success, like you're probably way more successful as an artist now, but
Right. Back then
that,
I didn't even
yeah,
have a million plays. I
yeah.
didn't even have like a flagship song or anything like that.
Right, but at the same time, it's like your success doesn't dictate how you're gonna feel when you hop on that stage. Like
Right.
Lil Peep had to tour. I think for the first year he was touring with his back to the crowd, and you can see that. You can go on
Yeah.
YouTube and you can see his performances where he was playing for like 500 people, but he had his back turned for
Because he was
most of
so
the show.
nervous. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like you said, you had him with your eyes closed. Like he was the
Yeah.
same way. Yeah, I don't know. I have such mixed feelings on those shows where like they're like local scene shows
Right.
where it's like somebody will bring a bunch of people, different artists, and then, maybe there's a crowd there, but it's all like 10 people there to see,
Well, you did that
10 different
video.
artists.
You did that concert. I think it was last year, right? Where you had the video of where everyone's got their flashlights out in
Yeah,
front. I don't know. Was
yeah.
that with Ricky or I don't know who that was?
That might have
Who did that
been
show with?
there
Because
was
you posted on Instagram,
was
and
it
I was like, man, that is the
was it me
coolest.
and Ricky in
I
Midwest?
think it might have been. Did you do a show with them last year?
Yeah. There was a sick clip I posted at some point of that show actually in the Roundtable parking lot where there was a bunch of people with their phones out, but um yeah, that was last year. That was at the Hoosier Dome. That was a fire show. That was like a underground rap show, but Midwest was headlining, so like there was like a lot of
Yeah, but you guys
um
had that collab song out by that point, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So you were
yeah.
able to sort of get the experience
The
still.
people were lit for Ricky too. Like I didn't perform at it. I just came out and I did my feature.
Yeah.
So I kind of performed, but not really. I didn't have a set. Um but yeah, like it was, yeah, they were, that was
That's
a
why I
sick
don't know
show.
how, like when I asked you earlier, like what the dream scenario would be like if I was an artist, like that's all I did and that was my career. I don't know if I could handle like performing all the time because of the insane dopamine rushes and being sober.
Hmm.
It's like it gives me that sense of
You're
being
way
on.
more sensitive
Yeah,
probably to it too, huh?
yeah,
To
exactly. Like I
dopamine.
feel like I'm almost like
Hmm.
high again,
Yeah.
because of the concert and performing in front of all those people. I mean, it really is just the most insane dopamine kick.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's
I don't
insane.
yeah, and I see all these artists, like, the artists that I grew up inspired by, that inspired my music, was Lil Peep and Juice World and X, and these guys, I mean, X maybe not as much, but, they all did battle with demons and, drug addiction, and you saw it's like, well, I don't want to aspire to, you know, go through that same path and
Yeah.
die young.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. I never saw myself really as like the, I don't know, I just got really, really lucky when it came to substances. I think I probably, there's been times in my life where you could say I've had a marijuana addiction.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? To where like if somebody was looking at my life and assessing it, they'd be like, this dude smokes way too much weed, he's
Right,
making
right.
lazy and this, that, and the third. But I really don't really, I'm pretty sober nowadays myself. You know,
Yeah,
I have some drinks and whatnot here and there. Um, but I've always, my problems have always been, you know, everybody has their problems, right?
right.
My problems have always been just like really bad anxiety and OCD. That's something that I'm now, you know, really, really working hand in hand with God to overcome. Um, but like when it came to like the drug use and the partying and stuff like that, I feel like I got a lot of that on my system early, and I've learned really quick from doing shows and trying to get drunk and drinking beer and stuff like
Yeah,
that, like, and getting drunk on stage, like, it really affects your voice, and
100%.
I'm, like, too I'm almost, like, too, like, neurotic, I feel like, to, like, do that, to be,
Yeah,
like, to put myself in that kinda, like, reckless state of, like, the Lil Peep, like,
yeah,
doing Xans and partying every night while being on tour, like, I'm like, "No," like, "Oh, if I do that, I'm gonna start yelling, and then I'm gonna get vocal nodules and blah, blah, blah."
uh-huh,
So so, like, I kind of, when I envision tour, I envision, you know, yeah, it is important to note, you know, sidebar.
yeah,
It's very important to note that it is crazy dopamine rushes, and it does have a similar effect to drugs,
yeah,
and it can cause depression, you know, going on
yeah.
tours and stuff like that. And you have to be really mindful of that,
And
and
surrounded by the right people,
surrounded
you
by the
know?
right people and take care of your mental health. But I've always envisioned the tours that I go on as very almost tame, you know, like
You're not doing a 40 show tour.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, you know what I mean? Like figuring out how to tour the right way where like you break it up the right amount to where you're
yeah,
not just living on the road. And you know, like I remember when Ronnie Radke got sober, he was talking about how the Falling in Reverse tours were different from the Escape the
yeah,
Fate
yeah,
tours.
yeah,
And the Falling in Reverse tours seemed way more like up my alley where he's like, yeah, no, now, you know, uh we go to bed by 11 p.m. We're working out, like we leave the show venue, we shower up, we're asleep on the bus
yeah.
by 11:30, and then like,
Yeah, you need that balance
and
for
he was
sure.
saying that the shows were way better quality because of it.
Yeah,
And you can see it in the performances. So I had that influence. He was one of my biggest influences in music and still is, I think, to an extent,
yeah, no, he's
especially
amazing.
vocally.
Yeah.
Like to me be a 12-year-old kid and hear him say that, like was like, okay, maybe this is the
Yeah, maybe
cool.
the glorified, like, idea of
Yeah.
what we have with music is not,
Yeah.
like, performing is not actually what
Yeah,
is healthy.
definitely. Right. So I don't really worry too much about like when I do have the privilege to tour, you know, falling into the party atmosphere of it,
Yeah,
but maybe I'll be humbled, you know what I mean? Like
sure, sure.
I'm not going to say that and walk in with the confidence and pride that that couldn't happen to me.
Right,
You know, I always make sure to keep a good head on my shoulders and to not get caught lacking
for sure.
in, you know, but like
Yeah, I mean, and I think, like, my situation is even somewhat unique because I don't know, like, with my when I found out about my disease and, that I'm fucking sorta dying, it's like I don't know if I would have ever became sober without that. And it's like I have so many regrets and things that I wish could have been different. But sobriety is one of those things that kind of empowers me a little bit because I
yeah,
think, all right, well, if this bad thing didn't happen to me, then maybe my life would have actually been worse off than it is
right.
now.
Yeah,
You know? Um, and so with like performing and stuff like that, it's like I love my life where I'm at, and it feels so fragile in a way of I don't want something else to happen or something else to be taken, and performing kind of gives me that anxiety because I have so many people reach out to me now, like, when are you performing next, and when are you gonna um, go on tour or anything like that? And I always tell them like, when I feel up to it,
Mhm.
because there is a lot more at stake than just being sober, you know.
Yeah. No,
And
totally, and that's a unique, category that you fall into that, hopefully your fans understand.
right, right,
You
and
know what
I
I
and
mean?
I think I've been quite transparent, and so many people have shown
You have
support
been
for it
very
as well. Yeah,
transparent, yeah.
it is a strange way to look at life when you're looking at a lens that doesn't feel like you're in full control,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
But 2 years of sobriety will be it will be pretty empowering for sure.
It will be, man, and I've heard that it gets easier, and I hope that it does, and I feel confident that it will. I mean, I took, long breaks, throughout since I started, you know, altering my state of consciousness, if you
Sure,
will,
sure.
through alcohol or whatever, to
Yeah,
where like, um, you know, I think longest one I took was like 2 years, and it was very empowering.
right.
And like I know deep down that the best way to live your life is stone sober. And
100%.
maybe one day I definitely will. Unfortunately, I kind of just am in a situation where I like to, have a drink or two on the weekend
Yeah.
and just kind of the
I think
culture.
the
But
largest thing
like,
that it's improved is, like, my relationships, like, with
yeah,
my fiance or with my
totally.
nieces and nephews, and, like, before I felt like I was when I would be with them, I would kinda just be almost, like, in the back of my head, like, watching it through a lens instead of
Hmm.
being there, mentally in the moment, like we were talking earlier. I it's such a strange, like, when I even drink, like, back a year and a half ago when I was coming up on 2 years, it felt like I was so distant. That's when I kinda realized I was like, "Alright, maybe it's not even just doing it for fun anymore, it's like, I'm doing it because I think I have to,"
Yeah,
because it's like, I've trained myself, conditioned myself, "Alright, well, I wake up, I'm about to go eat some nice food, I gotta smoke, or we're going to have hang out with the friends, I gotta drink."
yeah,
And, it just became such a toxic cycle that it started to take more from me. Then when I was drunk or high, I wasn't even having fun anymore, I wasn't getting that dopamine.
hmm,
It's like, yeah, now I do
yeah,
have more highs when I'm sober than I used to.
absolutely. I Anybody that goes sober for an elongated period of time will tell you that life is even trippier when you're sober.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
it really is, because you really start to realize just how crazy life is and just
Yeah,
how crazy everything is,
right.
and, like, if you think about it through the lens of that's our baseline state of consciousness, so that's our, like, the way God made us,
Yeah,
it then it's you realize it makes sense that being sober is actually the most powerful way to interface
yeah.
with the spirit world, you know what I mean? And
Right,
then
right.
just to realize just how trippy life is, and, consciousness is crazy, like, the fact that you can breathe yourself into a DMT trip from certain breath work,
Yeah, it's insane.
like, it makes you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and I think the worst part is, like, I've had so many great moments and times in my life that I genuinely just do not fucking remember anymore because
yeah.
I was fucked up, you know?
Mhm.
It's like, even when I was doing his shows and open mics back then, I was always high or something or on, like, painkillers or whatever to just get me through the show from the anxiety, but I wish I could have, like, remember what it felt like, but I don't. I just have the videos that we had from back then.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've just robbed myself of so much more experiences. And back then I thought that was the only way I could do it.
I remember even at, like, as young as, like, 16, um, once I started, like, smoking weed, I realized I would catch myself saying, "Oh, like, this is so fun, like, let's
I
say
wish I
I
could
was
be
at.
high.
There you go. I
Yeah.
would say word for word. I wish I was high right now. Like, I
Yeah.
would go to like an amusement park with my friends or something like Kings Dominion or something like
Yeah.
that. Oh, this is gonna be sick. We're gonna ride some roller coasters. I wish I was high for this. I'm on the beach chilling with my
Yeah.
family. Oh, it's beautiful right now. Look at this. I wish I was high for this.
Yeah.
I'm listening to music. I wish I was high.
And then you
You
kind
know
of
what I
and
mean?
then you just get this almost like secondary thought of, well, it's not as good as it could be.
Yeah, that's exactly where
And
I would fall
it's
into.
such a toxic cycle for sure.
I've definitely that is something that I have struggled with, and I'm not ashamed to admit that is something that particularly I think weed takes from you, because it definitely took from me, is like once you, because I've heard people say it, like, you know people that I look up to that have never done drugs are like, I'm so glad that I've never done drugs, because now I don't know how much
To
better
compare
life
it
could
to.
be
Yeah, to
on
compare
them,
it
and,
to,
like,
yeah.
I'm like, "Fuck, yeah," like, like, I try to be honest, I'm like, "Damn, like, life is
Yeah,
it's fucking awesome smoking weed and getting high and having a nice meal, listening to music.
right.
It's a sensory enhancer by nature, and it
Yeah,
makes things better." And, like, I think with sobriety, because I've been really trying to, like, you know, put not necessarily the kibosh, but just, like, really limit my use of everything. Like, it's important to be honest about these things so that you can move forward and be like, "You know what? No, like, I'm not going to let that's not even really necessarily true, like, that's just a mindset that you
right,
get into." And, I know that deep down my favorite mindset is sober, and I'm gonna go through life, um, facing that head on, because
right.
it's look at what the negatives are.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
I know so many people that almost use it as like drugs or even alcohol as like a shield or what they think is like a crutch
Mhm.
for them. Like, oh my God, bad things are happening or I had a bad day. Like, let me if I have another drink or whatever it is, it's they use that as, oh, now I don't have to deal with the real world, or they can
Yeah,
kind of take a back seat and don't have to it just push it back. But the problem is like your life slowly just unravels more and more.
yeah,
Like I mean, I have family members that they have never been sober for an extended period of time, and their life isn't together. They
yeah,
didn't
me
take
too.
that leap of faith or go do
Mhm.
that ambitious thing that they would have done otherwise because
Yeah,
it almost lets you be content with where you are, you know?
right.
Like, wow, my life fucking sucks. Even when I was broke, like dinner had no friends or anything. It was like, well, as long as I'm smoking bud, like I
Mm,
wouldn't even care. It wouldn't
mhm.
even matter to me, which at the
Yeah,
time was fine. It was probably what I needed.
yeah,
But I see that if it's just a crutch after a while
mhm.
for certain, situations.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is, and
And don't get me wrong, like Wiz Khalifa, or once you're successful and you already have
yeah,
your routine and everything. Like back then,
yeah,
like if I would have had a family or been married or whatever, house and everything already on the go, it makes more sense.
yeah. I think, 'cause, I, like, still am to an extent. It's like I love, like, you know, I would always say, like, if I wasn't doing music, I'd be growing weed. Like, I love weed.
Yeah,
It's something I just have to be honest, like, it's something that I was, and if I'm being honest, still am very passionate about,
yeah.
like,
I just can't
the
balance it.
yeah, the different strains and the terpenes and stuff like
Yeah,
that. Like, but even as that person that considered himself a connoisseur, you
yeah,
know what I mean? Like, I think people like Wiz are in a unique position,
hundred
and I
percent.
think, like you said, I think it's been something that I feel like for where I'm at in life has held me back too. So that's why I'm trying to really, you know, uh, not smoke and not drink, and
Yeah,
definitely not perfect. I haven't, like, made that decision like you,
right,
where I'm just like, I'm going sober. I'm not doing this. This is
right.
gonna be a path that I'm going to actively work every day to walk down.
Yeah.
But, um, what I have done is just shifted my focus, you know,
And I think
because it's not.
I almost needed like a larger, like an internal calling or something bigger than
Mhm,
just, I feel like I should go sober. Like,
mhm,
because I tried that and it never worked.
mhm,
But I had to be met with something that was, and maybe that was God's plan, was like, all right, well, this has to happen for you to become sober.
mhm.
And that's what I'll use as my motivation to continue it. And, because I always have temptations. Like, I have my brothers smoke and all of that, and I'm always around it, and obviously everybody drinks. I still go to parties and stuff like that, and it's
Yeah.
like if I didn't have something holding me accountable to do it, then I would have easily broke the sobriety long ago.
Mhm.
And I think that, like, for anyone who wants to become sober or something, it's like you have to have a damn good reason to do it, because
Yeah.
you'll trick yourself into falling into old habits again otherwise.
Yeah, totally. It's yeah, I mean, I've seen myself. I've seen crazy progress on my, you know, path of, repentance, as I call it. That's kind of where I'm at in life right now. I'm just really trying to, conform to Christ the best that I can, and just, like, I'm on that path of renewing my mind and trying to walk the godly route, but,
Right,
like, I've seen myself backslide.
right,
I've been in super, super, uh, positions of what you might call, like, walking righteously or whatever, to then a few months later, I'm doing all my old habits. I'm
yeah,
hanging out with girls, not married, doing
right.
whatever, you know what
There
I
you go.
mean? I'm
Yeah,
smoking, I'm drinking, I'm cursing,
yeah,
then I catch myself getting angry at people and road rage and everything. You name it, man. Like, I've I've been
Right.
all over the map on my journey to trying to better myself. But with that being said, the fact that if you just continue to get up and to keep going, even if you're trying to get sober and you do slip up,
Yeah.
at like the fact that you get up and you try again is
100%.
is extremely commendable. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? There's no shame in
I think being able to
backsliding.
forgive yourself too is such a huge aspect of recovery in
Being
any
able to
aspect.
forgive yourself 100%. We're all broken people. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? All of us are broken in some way, shape, or form. And like, there's when you accept it as your nature that you
Right.
are broken, but that you can improve yourself, that's when condemnation is
Right.
lifted off of you, shame is lifted off of you,
Yeah.
self doubt is lifted off of you because like I'm in good hands
Right.
and I'm protected and I can get up again and be forgiven and keep walking the walk.
100%.
And
I think that's like how
yeah,
like because I've had past relationships and like even with friends and other people like that I wish could have gone other ways or that I did something because I was a bad person at that time or I just didn't value it enough and I thought like for a long time like man I wish I just could have done things differently and I kind of
yeah,
held it over myself and it was so difficult to like let it go even with
yeah,
like family that I've don't talk to anymore and it's like it's just a natural order of things. You have to figure out a way to balance it and just know that like you're going to make mistakes. There's no way you're getting through life unscathed, right? Like
yeah,
you're going to be hit hard as hell and if you just have to figure out that it's all part of the plan or figure out a way to get back on the path to
yeah.
recovery and stuff like that.
Nah, for sure. I definitely something that really helped me out is just like whether it's true or not, just believing with every fiber that everything happens for a reason. Because if not, you'll really start to wig out. Like some of my lowest lows I've ever felt have been from just that with
Yeah.
past relationships or friendships or even situations where I'm like, I wish I could have done things differently and regret kicks in. Um, but like, you know, you just have to be like, hey,
Yeah, no, I
everything
get you.
happens for a reason. Maybe it's that went the way it did for a reason. I learned my lesson
Right.
and I'm moving forward.
Yeah.
End
Like me,
end
like
story.
one of the biggest things for me that I have probably, I mean, I've talked about plenty in my music and stuff like that is like my fiance now, like we were high school sweethearts and we broke up in high school. And that at the time was like the worst heartbreak I ever had. And I made most of my music back then about her. And that was really like my first song I ever released under Chief Kelly. It was about her. And I spent 5 years we spent 5 years not together and then came back. And by then, he's like, I had the music career and I got to be with the woman that got away.
Yeah.
Like, I see it as, and for that 5 year period, I constantly thought to myself, like, why did I let her go? Or why did I do this or that? And
Hmm.
at the end of the day, I mean, it created arguably the greatest path of my life that I would have,
Yeah.
I wouldn't trade my music for anything
Totally.
even if and maybe maybe it wouldn't have worked out if we didn't split up and I didn't get into music enough and I didn't find that passion and that sort of greater calling. So it's just yeah, I view that now when I make mistakes or I have arguments with people or we don't talk or something I regret. I'm just like
Yeah.
maybe I'm not meant to understand why it happened yet. And it's how it tied it in with like my physical health. For 3 years we didn't know what was going on and I'm dying and they're like my fucking parents are freaking out and I'm sort of having these existential crises of
Of course. Yeah.
why is this happening to me and how do I make sense of it? And then I like forced it to make sense. I became sober. I continued to make music. I started traveling. I got engaged, bought a house. Things that I would have wanted to do, but back then when I was 18 or 19, I would have told you I'd probably won't live till 25. Be
Hmm.
out of, dark thoughts or whatever. I just didn't have any stability in my life. But now that I do have this sense of like, well, I'm decaying a bit, now I have way more motivation to be alive. So it's almost this ironic balance of perspective and just knowing that everything will make sense in the end,
Yeah.
And like Shia LaBeouf said it with that John Bernthal podcast, he's like, everything will be okay in the end. And if it's not okay, then it's not the end.
Right.
And I think that's just that's such an empowering thought to have
Yeah. Totally.
because,
Totally.
and I truly believe that.
Yeah.
If it's not fine right now, then just give it time, and eventually it'll make sense.
100%. Super powerful quote, and exactly where I'm at right now, just with some internal struggles. Obviously the two biggest things that I'm dealing with right now are just really shaking off and moving forward with just certain things that didn't work out in the past year and some change in my life, and then also just chasing peace of mind. You know what
Right.
I mean? And when I say peace of mind, I feel like people are like, "Well, what peace of mind? You're expecting to have peace of mind?" I'm like, "No, like like
Yeah.
was diagnosed and I've been struggling with a mental illness that is robbing me of my peace of mind,
Right.
where you can't get 10 seconds even sometimes of just like rest."
Yeah.
So, um, the fact that there's proven ways to fix that I've am now doing and I'm seeing results
Right.
to
Right.
where I am. Like, when you get diagnosed with OCD, they say there's no cure. I went to a therapist. She was like, "That's BS. There is a cure." She's like, "There's many cures. There's medication. There's a surgery now that actually can fix it, and there's a cognitive behavioral therapy that completely heals people." And
Yeah.
then that's when I realized, and then through meditation to help me out, understanding that I'm not my thoughts, I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute. This is just a bad thought pattern that is an anxiety response that I actually, as my higher self, can look down at
Yeah.
and observe."
Well, if I mean, you condition yourself after so
Hmm.
many times of trying to deal with it on your
Yeah.
own that you just get into these negative
Right.
patterns that aren't healing you, you know?
Yeah. And I've seen results from doing the work,
Yeah.
or just even as simple as stuff like, I'm ignoring this today. Like, I'm going to ignore this. And you can actually move forward and everything is fine. You don't have to spend all your time ruminating on this thought, or how to, right the wrong thought you have in your head or whatever, with whatever. Like, you can really actually see results from doing the work, which, like, that's been super helpful to also um everything else in life. And with the music, like,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this has been, a burden or whatever that I've been struggling with, but I'm on a healing journey that is working, and I'm doing the work and I'm seeing results. So I can apply that to everything else in my life.
Yep.
Get the work done, see results.
Yeah. I
You know
mean,
what
yeah,
I
you can
mean?
apply that to anything.
Yeah. So
So we'll change
that's
topic
where I'm
here.
at.
We'll try to something for like the reels, and
Yeah.
we'll go.
Yeah.
Um, we'll
Yeah.
go like Luke Mars. What is your top 5 movies if you could only hold five?
All right. That's a bet. Okay.
So if you could only take 5 to show somebody, or like it doesn't have to be like the highest rated. It doesn't have to be like Godfather, or Shawshank Redemption. Like if you can only take 5 movies.
All right. We're clip farming now, folks. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Let's get it. Okay. Let me know. Wait, hold on.
I can go first. I can go first.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait, wait. I actually wrote this down.
I bet this is a good one.
All right. Okay. Ask me again
Oh,
why I did
yeah, yeah.
this. All right, do it.
All right,
Ready?
Luke Mar, what is your top 5 movies? If you could only keep those, it doesn't have to be the highest rated, just your favorite 5 to bring.
Um, man. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
In no
Is
par-
it in
in no
order?
in no particular
No
order.
order?
In no particular order. E.T.
Okay.
E.T. Phone Home.
That's
It's just a
classic.
classic.
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction.
Love it. Quentin.
Um, The Interview.
Okay. Top 5, bro. That's crazy.
Dave
Okay.
Franco, Seth Rogen,
All right.
or James Franco, whatever. Um, what am I at? What am I at? Was that 3?
That's 3. Yeah.
Okay. Um, for the culture, the SpongeBob movie,
Yo, classic.
and this is the number one,
Like your all-time favorite?
Dark Knight.
Dude, that's the best,
Yeah,
bro. That's the best.
that movie is insane.
I was on my top 5 movies, and I'm like a huge movie critic. I like make lists all the time on my phone or whatnot. My
Yeah.
number one all time, and I'm probably biased because like I'm huge into medieval fantasy. It's Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring.
Mhm.
That is the greatest movie in my opinion all time. It was number 2, like you said, Dark Knight. Like most quotable. I think Heath Ledger's acting as Joker is
Bro, he's crazy.
unparalleled. Like the most immersive and best acting I've
That
ever
was
seen.
insane.
Yeah,
He died. That role killed him.
yeah,
That's insane. We'll never get a movie like that again.
100%.
I hope we don't. Whoever does it's gonna die.
Literally, yeah, yeah. I mean, Joaquin had
Like,
did an incredible job as well.
he did incredible. I
But
bet
it's
he's
Lord of the Rings. Number 2 was Dark Knight. Number 3, Interstellar.
yeah.
In my opinion, best sci-fi film ever made. People will
Mhm.
say like 2001: Space Odyssey. No, I
Mhm.
think Interstellar, dude. Like when he spent an extra 5 minutes on that planet, and then it's 27 years later.
Oh,
Like it
dude.
actually felt shook to my core watching that, man.
Bro, now I feel like a dummy.
And then
Interstellar's
Interstellar.
awesome.
Number 4, Whiplash.
Okay.
I loved the ending of that movie and like so many quotable scenes, like what we said earlier with, if you can become discouraged, you probably never meant to do it. Like
Right.
Whiplash came from that, and the whole movie as a whole, like J.K. Simmons being the instructor, it just radiated with me, especially being a music artist. And then number 5, I had to throw an international movie in. It would have to be Godzilla -1.
Yeah.
I went and saw that
Hell
twice
yeah.
in theater, bro. That I've never felt more devastation in watching something like that. Was true terror for sure, and it's so much more than just a monster movie.
That's a crazy movie.
Honorable mention would be Scream. I think
Yeah.
that'll be
Oh,
like a timeless classic, bro, for
dude,
horror.
that is timeless. If I'm gonna do my favorite horror movie of all time is Halloween, the
Oh, the 1970s?
1979
Jamie
one or
Lee
whatever. It
Curtis.
came out with Jamie Lee Curtis. That one's just such a good classic. My family and I used to watch that almost every year on Halloween.
Yeah.
On Halloween night. That's a really good one. You got the pumpkin seeds in the oven, the
100%.
trick-or-treaters are coming to the door, and you got that one on. I watched the Rob Zombie 2008 Halloween or 2007 or whatever, and that movie was so fucked up.
Oh, 100%.
I think I was like 12 years old. I had a girl over. I remember like it was yesterday, and it was like my first little like girlfriend. And we were holding hands and watching movies and stuff. Or I put my arm around her, we watched a movie. That was the extent of it, right? The extent of our relationship. We were 12 years old.
Yeah, it was getting hot.
But it was getting hot and heavy in there. but we would link up and watch some movies, and I thought, well, Halloween's one of my favorite horror movies. Let's watch this Rob Zombie version.
Film, bro.
Bro, we had to turn it off. I turned it off in sheer disgust and panic and terror, like 10 minutes in.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, once he kills Danny Trejo, I was out for sure.
Right.
Even the new one though, with Jamie, when they brought Jamie Lee Curtis,
when they brought her back, that's
that
an
was a really
intense
good
one.
one.
They're really they did it good. They did good with that series. I really liked the original Friday the 13th. That was a good scary
Freddy
movie.
vs. Jason, I watch that every year. That's a
that
classic.
One's sick.
That's like a
that
blockbuster
super
popcorn
sick.
flick.
I'm gonna swap the SpongeBob movie out with
Interstellar.
That's yes, but no. That's got to be my honorable mention.
Yeah.
Because bro, The Big Lebowski.
Big Lebowski, yeah, that's classic too.
The Big Lebowski is just such a classic. That is,
yeah.
I love that movie so much. That's like my comfort movie.
Yeah.
Like Trailer Park Boys is my comfort TV show. Like whenever life is just getting a little too overwhelming, get yourself a bowl of Captain Crunch and watch some Trailer Park Boys. You're gonna be all right.
100%.
But in terms of movies, my comfort movie is The Big Lebowski for sure.
Now we'll do a more controversial topic.
All right, bet.
Top 3 Call of Duties.
Oh,
in order.
Man. Oh, people are
100%.
People are gonna have problems with me. People are gonna have problems with me after this one.
Don't say Infinite Warfare, or Advanced Warfare.
No. No. This is where people are gonna have problems.
Okay.
My number 1 top Call of Duty of all time.
It better be one of the Xbox 360 ones.
It is.
Okay.
Edit some freaking mic drop sounds or bomb sounds or whatever. Modern Warfare 3.
Okay, that's not a super hot take. I thought you were gonna say like Ghost or something.
Nah, I do think Ghost got a bad rap.
100%.
But no.
It's aged like wine.
Yeah, but no, it's not my top. Modern Warfare 3 is number 1. Black Ops 1.
Okay.
Black Ops 6.
Black Ops 6?
Yeah.
As your number 3?
I'll tell you why.
Yo.
I'll tell you why it's over Modern Warfare 2. Because everyone's going to be like, why is Modern Warfare 2 not your number 1? Black Ops 3 is my third favorite 6 is my third favorite Call of Duty of all time. Because it came into my life at such a needed time where I was like, when it dropped at the end of last year, I was like in a space in my life where I was like, I just needed to check out for like a couple weeks and just chill and then get back up and really start to hustle. And like, bro, I played that. One of my homies bought me an Xbox for Christmas. Like shout out to Mikey. He bought me an Xbox for Christmas and we started playing zombies together online. And then I started playing the multiplayer and I was like, this is really good. This feels like such a return to how it used to be. Yeah. So far away from that advanced warfare and all that. Like they were trying to turn Call of Duty, I feel like, into Halo for a while.
100%.
And I feel like Black Ops 6 was a return to normalcy at a much needed time. And there was a nostalgia factor there playing Nuketown.
Yeah.
And I was playing Nuketown 24/7. And they have 24/7 run all the time. I remember it used to just be like a double XP weekend. Now you can just play Nuketown 24/7.
No, I mean, I think I agree it's good. Top 3 is such a hard such a hard
I
spot though.
got to hear yours, but the reason why Black Ops 6 is in my top 3 is because of the nostalgia factor that it brought at a needed time. It's just a special one. But anyways,
yeah, my top 3 Call of Duties all time. And y'all can fight me in the comments. Number 1, I think undisputed. It's Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah. I
mean, double YY, no scope, 1v1 Rust. You know, you got Afghan, Skid
You're
Row,
not
Estate
wrong.
Wasteland.
Yeah.
Just classics, bro.
You're not wrong. Just me and my clan were
I mean,
doing
you're
it.
noob tubing from
Yeah.
spawns. I mean, the terminal mission when you're in the airport, like most
Crazy.
controversial like
Crazy
mission ever. And you got the Spec Ops mission with the snowmobiles, like all classics. Number 2 is probably Black Ops 1. I think that's totally like where it kind of started for me in a way. And it's such an iconic overall just game. It has some of the best maps. It is a tie between that and Black Ops 2. But I could go either way with that one. And then the number 3 is probably World at War. I fell in love with zombies at that point.
Yeah, World at War is tough.
Toten is just it's I didn't play the multiplayer as much on that one, but for zombies I literally that's all I played for like a year. It felt like.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was doing an honorable mention or maybe swapping out if I were doing just multiplayer, I would probably go at Modern Warfare 3, like you said.
Yeah, Modern Warfare 3 is my number 1.
Yeah, I think
honestly, unrightfully so. Just me and the clan that I had, the Epic clan back then, we went so hard in Modern Warfare 3 that I just have the best memories on that one.
Yeah,
but like World at War,
I think Infinity Ward they make their game so arcade. Like what was it the guns on there? What was the main like ACR?
The ACR. Yeah.
I love that gun, dude.
Yeah,
the MP7's dual akimbo, freaking
MP7 was insane.
Yeah.
That dude, they had when they first dropped Modern Warfare 3, the I don't know if not the AA-12. It was a shot. I don't even remember the name of it. It was a shotgun that they had, but it used to be
the Spaz 12 or whatever.
Yeah, it was something I don't even remember. But they had to nerf it because people were just like getting Moabs like nonstop,
shooting slugs. Yeah, long barrel and stuff like that.
Yeah, just rushing the map and just straight slugging.
It's like they had the FMJ9s or whatever dual akimbo.
Yeah. And it used to be a secondary. Like, man, that was when that game dropped, it was crazy. I was actually a Christmas noob on Modern Warfare 3, but it ended up I was a good player by that point, so it just took me a week to adapt, and then I ended up, going on my run with it that makes it my number 1 Call of Duty. But I was a Christmas noob nonetheless.
And then what is your top 3 video game consoles?
Xbox 360.
Number 1.
Undisputed.
100%.
Don't argue in the comments.
There is an argument for PS2 for older folks. I know what it did for gaming. Trust me. But Xbox 360, it holds up to this date. I'll still go back and play 360
I don't want to hear no type of argument. I don't care how old you is.
360's up there.
Yeah, the 360.
PS2 probably number 2.
PS2 has to be number 2. Yeah. I got that in kindergarten.
I think all my brothers had it. Everybody I knew had one. It was just one of those. I mean, number 3 for me would probably be, if I had to throw like a Nintendo in there, it'd be like GameCube, because that was what I grew up with. You could say Wii maybe, or I don't know. I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm going. I'm going 360, PS2, Wii.
Yeah, the Wii.
Yeah,
the Wii was really awesome.
The Wii. I
mean, I guess you could say the Switch too. I play the Switch still. Like I think
don't know if I've even ever.
You never had a Switch?
No, I didn't.
My
actually.
God.
Yeah, I never had a Switch.
Yeah, that's the best.
I got 360. I had a 360, and then a PS2, a Wii, and then homie just gifted me an Xbox One last year, like I was saying. So
I remember with the Xbox One, but they had this thing called the Kinect. But they had the it was like motion. It was like the Wii, right? But there was no controller. That was like the coolest thing I'd ever seen.
It was hella cool. I heard that was kind of clunky.
It was, and I guess they had something where they was like recording you and stuff, and that's why they like got rid of it. Or you always had to be online with it to be able to play.
I started seeing like creepypasta stuff about the Xbox Kinect, where there was like with the, like you said, the recording stuff, but how it had those lasers that went out. People were like, "Ooh, people are catching ghosts on camera," and
100%.
the Xbox Kinect and stuff like that. So I just threw me off to where I'm like, I ain't getting no. I don't want the Kinect in my house. But yeah, that's a good question. Yeah. Top 5 consoles. People don't talk about that much, but the consoles make a difference.
100%
in your experience gaming.
Yeah, I guess anyone that didn't grow up to 360, they can maybe argue it, but I think that's the best all time.
Yeah, 360 is, in my opinion, is definitely the best of all time. I agree with you there.
What's your favorite TV show ever? My number 1 is Breaking Bad.
Wow.
I think I've watched that 5 or 6 times.
Hell
And
yeah.
then it'd probably be Game of Thrones
Mhm.
and True Blood. I think those are my top 3
Oh, that's
undisputed.
an insane top 3. Um, Trailer Park Boys, number 1.
Okay, yeah.
Walking Dead, number 2. Breaking Bad, number 3.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
hard to not have Breaking Bad in there. It's
Yeah.
just the best written show, I feel
And then
like.
Better Call Saul, honorable
So no
mention.
Game of Thrones, huh?
I actually never even seen Game
Oh
of
my,
Thrones.
yo, get
Yeah.
this man. What in the hell?
Yeah,
I'll
I
get this man
gotta
an HBO Max subscription.
right. Hey, you buy me the subscription, man. I'll take the time
My
out of that.
gosh, bro, that your world's gonna be shook. At least watch till season 5. But God,
Yeah, I've actually never seen Game of Thrones. I have similar reactions every time I tell people
wow.
that. I don't know why. I just never.
Are you a big fan of like Lord of the Rings and stuff like that?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean it's up that
that's
alley.
so. I made him. I've been missing out then, huh?
100%.
Damn. All right, man.
What was your number 1 was Trailer Park Boys. What was number
Yeah.
2?
Uh, Walking Dead,
Walking Dead.
and
Oh yeah.
then Breaking Bad, and I honestly like. The Walking Dead would be my number 3, and then Breaking Bad would be number 2, but because like The Walking Dead got way out of hand for a while, where the
Yeah.
script was way off, and you're just like, bro, what is? And I personally stopped watching after season
Right.
9 because it just got way out of hand. But they really brought it back, I think, in a really nice way with the Rick and Michonne, and Rick is still alive,
Right,
to where
right.
they're ending it in a really. I can tell they're gonna end it really properly.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, all right, yeah, it's got to be my number 2 because the way they ended Breaking Bad was chef's kiss, and then having El Camino come out with Jesse to like
Well, I
really
think
shore
that's
it
why
up.
Breaking Bad works so well is because it was only 5 seasons, but they could have easily milked it for like 2 or 3 more
Oh,
seasons.
for sure, they could
But
have
they're
made it
just like, let's just go for the story, and it's
right.
just it's the most complete story.
It's the most complete story I've ever seen in
Yeah.
a TV series, honestly. Yeah.
I mean the progression of Hank and everybody is
Yeah.
unmatched, bro.
Yeah, it's amazing. Even with Trailer Park Boys, like, they unfortunately one of the main people on the show, Jim Leahy, he passed when John Dunham in real life or whatever his name is, he passed away.
Right.
Not John Dunham, isn't that a comedian?
Jeff Dunham.
Jeff
the
Dunham.
freaking ventriloquist or whatever.
I don't know, John something. I think it is John Dunham. Maybe I'm. Anyway,
No disrespect.
No disrespect. The actor who plays Jim Leahy passed away in 2017, and then he was so instrumental to the show that like now they just do an animated series, and it's like it's not the same, obviously.
Right.
Like
right.
Breaking Bad is a complete start to finish.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. You
I
don't
mean,
get that
everything lined up perfectly
Mhm.
for that show.
And then Better Call Saul was insane.
See,
to get
it took
backstory.
the first 2 seasons are so slow. It felt like
So slow. It's true. They're so
and
slow.
people say it's better than Breaking Bad. I don't think so.
No, it's
Because
not.
you can't have that without Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
It's not nearly as compelling.
No, it's not. It's not at all. The whole that show is. You can't say it's. How you gonna say that the show?
It's just a compliment to
Yeah.
Breaking Bad. You know.
Yeah, you can't. Right. You can't say the prequel is
Right.
better. There is no prequel without. Anyways.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear people talking about like Yellowstone and stuff. That's like their favorite, but
Yellowstone.
that's that country one was.
Oh yeah.
It's real popular right now.
What's hella popular? That I watched one episode of Euphoria,
Oh god.
and
That one is like glorifying. It glorifies
that was
like
weird.
high school,
Yeah, that was weird to me.
like toxicity. I don't know.
That was weird to me.
Yeah, that was a strange. And it doesn't feel like high school. It's like it feels like some weird college like.
Yeah, well, they're
atmosphere.
all like, I'm 27 now. I was 23 when I watched that. I think it was back in like 2022.
Pretty sure Zendaya is like 22 in that, playing a 16-year-old.
They're all right, probably older. They're probably all like in their late 20s, early. I think Sydney Sweeney's like our age.
Right.
Like they're playing kids, and it's just I don't know. No disrespect to
I
anybody
mean,
that loves that show, but
for sure.
yeah, that was I was cool off of that show, but I really liked Degrassi as a kid. I knew who Drake was before I knew he was Drake from Degrassi.
I swear so many people forgot that. Like, dude, he was the guy in the wheelchair, man.
Yeah, I remember Drake was like one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
Jimmy or whatever from Degrassi, and then I heard Best I Ever Had on the radio, so I Googled on my 2008 freaking box of a computer, like I just like Googled Drake or whatever one day because I was like, who's Drake? This song is dope.
I remember, back when he was like on Young Money and he did like Bedrock and all those songs.
I see freaking Jimmy from Degrassi or whatever pop up on Google Images, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, that is awesome, man.
I think it's him. Which then I remembered he rapped in one of the episodes, and I was like, this is actually tight. There was an episode of Degrassi where he walked out and he was like trying to sabotage his ex-girlfriend's singing performance and he starts rapping and everybody likes his rap more than than her singing. And then like I remember even being at the time, I was like, oh, that dude can rap. Turns out it was
He's
Drake.
one of the greatest.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He goes down as one of the greatest rappers ever.
Fast forward to 2025.
Yeah.
Right. But
no, that is crazy.
Yeah, definitely knew who Drake was from Degrassi first, which is a trip. So you'd think I loved Degrassi. Euphoria didn't connect with me.
No, 100%.
So, yeah, so like, you know, something you do a really good job of is knowing how to game each platform, knowing how to operate YouTube Shorts versus Instagram Reels versus TikTok, knowing where to place your music to get it heard, you know, knowing how to properly satisfy, I guess, your fan base.
Right.
Like, what do you think? What's your approach to the different social media platforms? Like,
yeah. So like, I mean, I have people ask me what they should do to sort of get a little bit more popular or, you know, get their music heard. And like when it comes to Spotify, I think they have such a unique way of getting into their algorithms with Discover Weekly.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell everyone to prioritize. Like whatever you're doing, even if you're doing social media marketing on Instagram and everything, like make sure you're pulling the traffic into Spotify, because if you get on Discover Weekly, it's literally just a funnel of getting your songs recommended to somebody every single Tuesday. And for anyone who doesn't know, like Discover Weekly is an algorithm on Spotify that it's a playlist that they recommend to people every single week that will literally just be a random set amount of people depending on how much engagement you get. And that's the one that single-handedly changed my life, and it continues to every week. On like Instagram and stuff, I've taken the approach, like I tried the whole singing my lyrics over me doing something goofy or something catchy, like kicking my camera on the bass drop or something like that. I just find videos that are like meme reels or something to push my songs over, because people get this like subconscious thought when they find a video they like or a meme that they are sending. Every once in a while you'll be like, well, what's that song playing in the background? I like that. And I've sort of just put so many of those videos out. People think others are using my songs, and it tricks them into thinking, oh, wow, maybe this is a popular track, and I'll start using it. And that's really helped me with Instagram and TikTok specifically. YouTube Shorts is a little bit different because you have to be a little more clever, I would say, to get those views, and hashtags don't really work as much. But when I'm trying to make content, doing videos like this or chopping up music videos or even like studio sessions where we're using behind the scenes clips, I've seen those get the most views on YouTube because people do want to see you and they do want to feel more personal, versus Instagram and TikTok where you can do the most outlandish things and just put your song over it. And I think you get just as much traction. And that's what we talked about earlier. Like, I think it evolved so much when it used to be TikTok dances, or you had to have some influencer talking over your song or rating it. It's so much more simplified now, and people just want to watch videos that make them laugh or catch their attention for the 5 to 7 seconds of them scrolling.
100%.
And then you just try to get your song in there as well. And maybe 1 in 100 people are going to listen to it. But if you get 100,000 plays, you're getting 1,000 new people going to play your song on Spotify.
Yeah.
And then that triggers Discover Weekly, and Apple Music starts to recommend it a little bit more, and the snowball effect kind of like begins.
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, I totally feel you. We're like, TikTok is like quantity over quality, almost like just posting to you get the views and trigger the algorithm. You know, Instagram, quality over quantity with the reels and stuff like that. High quality, crispy images. YouTube Shorts is totally random. I don't even know really what. I haven't figured out what works or what's not.
Random videos will just blow up on that.
Some videos get views, some don't. But like in terms of the Spotify algorithm, like you said, to get on Discover Weekly or to get on those playlists that get you so many streams just for free. Like, I heard that the first day is like so important. Like the 100%. Amount of streams, the amount of people that save and listen, like the first day, like has a ripple effect for weeks. Yeah. So to all my people, when my next song drops or any song that comes out, make sure if you fuck with me, tap in the first day and stream it multiple times. Pre-save, save it, add it to your playlist, whatever you got to do. But we lit, baby. Let's go.
100%. Well, I just wanted to wrap up, man. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Luke.
Of course, my man.
Always down to make more music. I mean, we're coming up on 2 years of being professional relationship. It's been a pleasure, man. You're one of the most talented dudes I know, and I'm glad that we're still at the mountain making it. You know.
I echo the same sentiment back at you, my brother. Let's get it.
Of course. And shout out to the podcast studio, Visual Studio. You guys have been amazing, and this is an incredible setup.